everyone. How's it going? Good morning.
Good morning.
Julie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself before we get started here?
Sure. So my name is Julie Choi, and I lead AI marketing. I'm a vice president in the Intel AI products group. How about you, Jessica?
Yeah, so I'm a vice president of marketing at Mixpanel, and some little known facts about me that I like to just throw out there from the start is that you might look at me and think that I look very young, but I'm actually much older than I look, part of it because of the Asian glow. And the second thing that I would just say that people often think is an unknown fact about me too is that I actually graduated with an undergrad in economics, but I actually never took a single class in economics in college. Kind of interesting, right?
Impressive.
So we just attended an amazing Women in AI session today. I'd love to get your top takeaways from what you heard.
Yeah, it was a great way to start the day. Thank you to all the ladies and gentlemen that joined us this morning. How many of you came to the Women in AI session? Woo! Way to the early risers and the non-morning people who showed up. I think for me, one of the things that was so impressive was the diversity of applications in terms of AI solutions that were represented on the panel and in the room. We saw an array of startups as well as large companies. We heard viewpoints from huge companies like IBM. We had their leader of customer experience with us, and we had like a head of engineering from Uber who works on their autonomous technology division. We also had two startup founders, one that's investing in a company that's building out a global network of women investing in women, and another that's researching women in voice. And she has an expertise in the domain of phonetics, which I thought was fascinating. Absolutely. How about you? What were some of the takeaways for you, Jessica?
Yeah, that was great. The biggest thing that I realized is that there's just so much value in having diversity in building amazing products. The company that I'm at now, Mixpanel, was actually started on that belief holistically. This idea that our co-founder, Suhail, actually worked at Slide at the time, which was a Max Levchin company. And they wanted to try to, this is back in the day where Facebook allowed you to go super viral and spam folks. And they wanted to understand how virality could grow. And so they tried to use the analytics solutions at the time, like Google Analytics and Adobe, and they realized that they couldn't get the detailed user behavior that they needed. And so they had to build stuff in-house. And what that meant, though, is that Suhail had this idea that actually everyone should be able to access analytics. And today, I'm proud to say that every company of diverse size, small startups that you know and use today, to Fortune 500 companies use us to be able to understand and change sort of the ramp of their innovation scope. And so that viewpoint, that diversity of how you build products is really important, I think.
I agree. I mean, I think the morning session today with the women and people from all different backgrounds reminded me of how important diversity is at Intel, right? We had a corporate goal to reach full diversity and inclusion by 2020, and we smashed through it and achieved it in 2018.
That's amazing.
And thank you on behalf of Intel and our leadership. We're just so proud of continuing to build a company that's truly diverse and respectful and inclusive. And I think within the AI products division as well, what drew me to work for the AI products group was the diversity of the team of leaders.
Yeah.
Many of the founders of Nirvana who lead AI at Intel, they come from very diverse backgrounds, born in different countries, Iran, India, and raised in Kentucky, one of them. And it's just, it was, and then also just the engineering leaders that I've met, like Jennifer Myers and Yunyan Liu, who lead so much of our deep learning software efforts and data science. And Huma Abidi, my colleague, who's nominated here for AI mentorship at the Women in AI Awards.
That's great.
Just a lot of diversity powering the creation of AI hardware that's just altogether very, transformative.
Absolutely. And it's so amazing to be here with you guys. I know we were just talking earlier about some stats. Last year, there were only about 5% of women in the audience at this conference, and now it's already at 30%. And if you think about how we can continue moving forward diversity overall in the industry, tell me a little bit about what you think are some of the areas that we should focus on.
Yeah, I was talking with Gina about this. She's one of the organizers here of this amazing conference. And diversity doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It is an incredibly intentional act. So you don't reach full representation. You don't go from 5 to 30% in anything without a plan and without intention. So I think that's the big takeaway is if you want to build the best products that are really differentiated, you're going to need diversity, and that is not going to happen automatically. And it doesn't just get built by our HR teams. It's every single person in this room having the intention to be inclusive and to be diverse in the way you think and open-minded. I think that's one of the things about diversity that we learned this morning and that we see practiced at leading organizations.
That makes total sense, absolutely. Cool.
All right, well, you guys have a great rest of your day and tomorrow. Look forward to seeing many of you at the Women in AI Awards and the diversity activities that VentureBeat has planned. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.